going to Bayer AG, which is a German life science company, and its segments are pharmaceuticals, consumer health, crop science, animal health, and chemicals.
I think people will be familiar with Bayer, right? It's the largest German company constituent of the DAX 30. It is an industrial titan founded in the 1800s. What I mean by that is the 18th century, a long time ago. Germany, one of Germany's largest industrial corporations.
Yeah.
So you've got here a big global titan that, as you said, there is in everything from pharma all the way through to crop sciences and everything else.
So we're sitting at 73.8 billion euros in terms of market cap, a PE of 16.3, and a dividend yield here of 2.8%. So Bayer or Bayer, either way, do you celebrate this stock as a good investment, especially gaining access to that agriculture story?
It certainly has got a market share, and I think from a branding perspective, nobody can question that. I think given also where they are operating, a dividend yield of about 3% is not very bad given the tough conditions. So if you also look in terms of the PE, although you can't really compare it directly to the JSE, our PE on the JSE is about 22, that's about 16%. So it does look very very cheap to some extent, and attractive, I think, given the fact that, as we said, it's a very good brand.
We haven't chatted about agriculture stocks before, Paul, have we?
Well, we normally talk about Deere and Monsanto, and the interesting thing is Bayer is in the process of acquiring Monsanto. So that's why it's been in the news recently. Germany's largest company buying out one of the largest players in agricultural pharma
And there are no
seeds.
competition issues on
Well,
this
it's a
front?
global deal. Remember, there was Monsanto that was trying to buy Syngenta, which is a Swiss company, and now Bayer is buying them. So it's a bit like the pursuer became pursued. But Bayer, I think, it's got the real heft and quality. If you look at the history of the company, it basically grew by acquisition into these various areas. So in the pharma division, they invented aspirin. They invented something called Cipro, which was the first antibiotics, or one of the first antibiotics. They've got a whole range of newer research-based stuff. In the agri area already, they have a product similar to Roundup, which is called Liberty, which is not good for the weeds. So these are the kind of modern...
A weed killer.
weed killers, which you chuck on crops, but they don't kill the crop, they only kill the weeds. And now if they add Monsanto, which we'll see in a minute is a huge US corporate, they're going to be massive in the agricultural space.
Talking about the weed killer in an organic world where everybody is moving to kind of free products without any radicals.
Well, not everybody. I mean, some people are. I don't know. Let's get Joseph's view on that.
It's going to take long for us to move into your organic type of space because of the population explosion, if I may put it that way. So that's going to take long.
Look, the super premium end of the market is looking for heirloom products that are grown without pesticides and so on. But if you talk about the mainstream global
there are many people that need to be
production,
fed and really haven't got time to worry about
this is how you get the
organic
productivity
issues.
of each hectare up and so on and so forth.
So let's call it. Can we call it? Is there?
There's also a high value polymers business in there. So they've got like a chemical business in the more traditional sense. It's headquartered in Leverkusen in the middle of Germany in that Rhine-Westphalia area.
Before we call it, can we have one more look at that share price graph?
Yes, good point. So you can see it sort of tops out a little bit there, and like most European stocks, it's had a bit of a sideways drift in 2015, 2016. In recent weeks, it's really been moving around as people have weighed up whether or not it's a good idea. Because the Monsanto deal is going to be huge. I mean, we're talking about a market cap on Monsanto's side of about $40 billion. So
and we are going to chat about Monsanto in a moment, but would you buy it on the back of a deal, this deal?
This is really almost going to be your InBev versus SAB,
yes,
where you create a big conglomerate of that large scale. So certainly, I think if they manage to buy Monsanto, you're going to get additional kind of products, in particular on the seed side, coming onto the fore.
But it's not a done deal yet.
Agree with you.
It's not a done deal, although it's been recommended by the Monsanto board, and I think they will be able to pull it off. There may be some regulatory issues, but given the scale of the global industry, the fact that Syngenta's out there, there's a Chinese competitor, so I think they will pull it off.
Yeah. Hot or not?
It will take time, but I think it will be hot because given the fact that I think Bayer on its own is quite a strong company.
Or hot or not?
Yeah, I'm going to go hot on this one. It's the first time we've talked about it, but I like the mix and I like the strong German management team. Werner Baumann, they're basically going to fund this deal without any resorting to fresh scrip issuance, just through debt in the corporate market, which is interesting too. So yeah, hot on that one.
Well,